My name is Terry Heffield, and we're here in Waxhaw, North Carolina. We're at the JARS Center. JARS is a part of Wycliffe Bible Translators, and as you can tell by the propeller in front of me, we're in aviation. I've decided that I wanted to go into aviation when I was in high school. I thought I could probably do some pretty exciting things. I've always been mechanical. God's blessed me with that. So I started looking towards the possibility of going into mission aviation, flying on the mission field. Well, God had a different plan for me, and that was that I would be an engineer. I actually joined JARS, had all my ratings and so on, and decided I didn't enjoy flying enough to do full-time flying. Instead, I came as a mechanic, and about 6 months later, I became the engineer because I opened my mouth when somebody says, "Can we do this modification?" I said, "Sure, why not?" And then they made it narrower and said, "Can you do that modification?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" Well, that was the beginning of some energy-absorbing seats that would keep pilots and passengers from being injured in a severe vertical type accident. And ever since then, I've done all kinds of designs on modifications, and it's been a great ride for me. I've been here 35 years now. And let me tell you a little bit more about the engineering over here. Let me tell you about the process that we have to go through to get modifications to the airplanes done. It takes a lot of effort. First thing that happens is the field, the mission field people that are flying these airplanes write in and say, "Hey guys, we need to have this modification to be able to make the airplanes more useful and safer." And then from that, I'll take that and run with it to design the part. The cargo pod's the perfect example. We designed this part in a 3D CAD program, and then we went and had a company that specializes in making fiberglass molds make the mold for this thing. Then a good friend of ours said, "Well, if you'll get me the mold, I'll make you the fiberglass part." And that's what he did. Then once we got the fiberglass part, we had to make things like the bulkheads, this whole fitting arrangement, and then mount it on and assemble the whole thing, and then begin the testing process. The testing process involved 17 different load tests to make sure that it was strong enough. And then we went and after we proved to our own satisfaction that it was strong enough, then we had to go back and make the FAA happy. And the FAA wanted a lot of different tests. And they also required that every drawing that describes this thing is done. So we made all the drawings. We had somebody look them over and say, "Yep, they're good enough. Now let's see if the part matches the drawings." That's called a conformity. Then after that, then we have to do the tests all over again. But the tests on a fiberglass part are special. They had to be done at 160 degrees Fahrenheit, which would be called the worst case scenario, which means that the pod should be a little weaker. We did that, proved that it was good, and then we went back to the FAA with more information and so on. And finally, after 6 years of effort, we got the approval on the pod. This pod mounts on the wing right up here, and it allows the pilots to fly a combination of cargo and all kinds of things, and it helps keep the center of gravity of the airplane in the middle where it should be. I have a bunch of people say, "Wow, why do you do this? This sounds exciting, but why do you really do it?" Well, the excitement wears off, and then you have to decide, why do I do this? And the reason is because this has eternal value. Bible translation is needed all around the world. And the only way that many places will get the Bible is by aviation. Aviation not only makes it faster, but it makes it doable. We've got a translator that has done 5 translations, And he says, without aviation, it couldn't happen. So, what about your life? Does your life have eternal value? What work you do, is that eternal value? If not, let me invite you to come check us out. We're at jars.org and wycliffe.org, and we can show you lots of things. Or get a hold of me personally. I would love to talk to you. Thank you so much for listening and checking us out.